like to call to order the Municipality of Norristown Council meeting of Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024 to order. Can I have a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, can I have roll call, please?
Rebecca Smith.
Here.
Rashad Bates.
Here.
Tiffany Henley.
Here.
Lauren Hughes.
Here.
William McCoy.
Here.
Dustin Queenan.
Here.
Thomas LaPera.
Here. Can I have a motion to approve the previous minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Executive session announcement. We had an executive session tonight on personnel. And that's it, right, Sean? Personnel? Yeah, personnel. Mr. Vice President, any announcements?
I don't have any announcements. Anybody have any announcements?
Council?
Oh, yeah, we have a town hall meeting at the library on April 8th. Sorry, I messed up the times, you guys. From 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay, and I would just like to make a note that our next council meeting will be on April 24th, which is a Wednesday, not a Tuesday, due to Election Day. Madam Secretary, any public comment?
Good evening, Council. How you all doing? Happy Easter. Flowers are blooming. I'm happy. Made it through another winter. Moving into the 79th. Woo woo. Anyhow, look, I got to put the Keep Norristown Beautiful on hold because the fish ladder is open in the Norristown Dam, and we're waiting for the shad. And according to the riverkeeper, if the shad run, that it's worth $30 million in economic development. I have that in writing. So we're going to have to put that, work on that issue. We got some problems with it. There's some erosion tree damage that's coming from upstream that's getting clogged every day in fish ladder. So I went off trying to find out where that was all coming from, and it was up in Evansburg Park. In fact, it was the debris that blocked the road during the flood of Agnes. So I'm kind of going to be out of town, spending some time upstream trying to deal with what's going on in the Evansburg Park. Not many people understand the history of that, but that was supposed to be flood control, economic development, a big old thing that was supposed to bring billions of dollars into the community, but it never happened. And basically what it's doing is it's poisoning our drinking water. There'll be more out there. In fact, what I'm going to be doing now, because of the Whitehall Road Bridge stormwater flooding thing that happened after Ida, and what I found up there on this historic bridge, Germantown Pike over to Skipback Creek, then I'm going to be making another book. And it's going to be called The Bridges of Montgomery County. And what I'm out to find out is the almost $400,000 that the county spent in repairing bridges after Ida. I want to find out if they're because of a development upstream where the uncontrolled stormwater is causing the damage that's causing our tax dollars to pay for that. So that's kind of like my mission. And I admitted now that I am a veteran. I hope that that's correct. I noticed by a smile over here that I'm correct, so that's good. All right. Hey, unbelievable. I got this. Well, look, here's the other thing, too, is the pollution from the stream banks of the washed out trees is in our drinking water. And once again, we need the Bureau of Abandoned Mine Reclamation to come and do the sounding so we can force them to do the dredging. Now, you've all seen that story about the foul state of Pennsylvania waterways. The integrated report from the state to the federal government claiming our rivers are polluted. I think you all seen the copy. I sure they had it out there. I mean, I kept talking about it over and over again, but that goes to the federal government. The federal government hasn't done anything about it.
Thank you, Mr. Waters.
Buenas tardes. Voy a hablar en español. Si Yesenia me puede traducir. Ok. La razón por la que pido traducción es porque hay participantes que hablan español de la comunidad.
The reason why I asked for translation is that there's members from the Spanish-speaking community here, and I wanted to speak Spanish for them.
Y ellos tuvieron la queja de que el sistema que están usando casi no se entiende o no está funcionando.
And they have a little issue saying that they are sad that there is no inclusion of them in some of the programs that you guys have here.
Hoy voy a hablar sobre dos cosas importantes rapidito. Una es sobre los fondos que le dieron del ARPA para los negocios pequeños y este fondo abrió el 25 y cerró ayer y no tuvimos inclusión porque por el tiempo que se abrió y por los requisitos que se pidieron.
I'm going to be talking about two things today. The first one is about the ARPA program, about the money for small businesses in the area. It opened on the 25th and it closed yesterday. And we had a little argument because we were not involved in it. We never heard about it and didn't find out about the help that was given out.
Los requisitos fueron muy grandes, no afectaron realmente o ayudaron a nuestros pequeños negocios y si estábamos hablando de 4 negocios que hacían una ganancia de 50,000, si eran 200,000, fueron solo 4 negocios que se veían beneficiados.
And also the other thing was that many of the requests that we're giving out wouldn't apply or wouldn't of help for our small businesses in the area. And for example, if there's a business that gets a worth of 50,000 and only was given 2,000 and many other things that were in the program.
Nosotros pedimos como representantes de la coalición de latinos, la coalición pide que para la próxima, cuando haya un grant, sea más inclusivo para poder nosotros también tener tiempo de poder recopilar la información, traducirla, ya que el documento que se envió esta vez nunca fue traducido. Está muchos papeles, pero todos en inglés.
Our coalition and our program that we have, we're a little sad because all the information that was given out was all in English. All the applications were in English. None of them were translated for our small business people that we are helping out.
Okay. La segunda es, nosotros estamos organizando eventos o ayudando a los negocios a organizar eventos, pero nos dimos con la sorpresa de que cuando ponemos en cada evento cuántos asistentes vamos a tener, si ponemos más de 200, corremos el riesgo de que estas aplicaciones no sean aprobadas porque estamos teniendo una cantidad que excede las expectativas o la cantidad de policías que nos pueden ayudar o pueden patrullar el área. Entonces estaríamos mintiendo si vamos a decir que un evento que organizamos van a tener solamente 200 participantes. Entonces, también para saber que eso es una parte que estamos batallando y también es otra vez inclusión.
So another thing that I'm going to be asking today is about our small events that we have for our small businesses. If we put an application in and we only say there's 200 people in it, we're going to end up having problems because then we get more people than we expected. And then they keep telling us there's not enough police officers to go around the area, or there's a lot of people than we expected. We never have an exact number of people that we are having, just because there's always more people that are coming into the event. So that's another issue we're also having, and we see it as another issue of not including us in the same process as everyone.
Denise, that there needs to be better job of including Latinos in the government affairs. Her organization came out and, helped me help the neighborhood by trying to strengthen the relationship between my neighborhood and the police. So they came out to help me do that. Also, I don't know if you guys considered a diversity, equity, and inclusion office or officer or committee or something of the sort, because I think I mentioned this last time. I think it could be useful so that just people feel it's more fair. Social media doesn't really reflect all the Latinos in this town. That's another thing I want to bring up. Where's the consistency between the social media of this town? Because, like, I know Capoletti has a cleanup this Saturday that she posted in conjunction with Keep Norristown Beautiful, but, you know, it was canceled before, but anyway, it's just like, can we have like a calendar like Lower Merion's where there's a grouping, you can select, you know, town-sponsored events and meetings, community meetings, community events, like, it'll show everything there, and people who want to submit a request to include some sort of event, they can do so, and it can be reviewed. Can that be done? If you check out Lower Merion's website, it's very helpful, and it's very inclusive, and it allows the community to actually submit for review events that are not necessarily town-sponsored. I do think the town should, I do think they should include a Latino cultural event as part of their special events. But if you go to Lower Merion's website and you see the calendar they have there, just a community event, that would probably meet the criteria. It doesn't have to be town-sponsored, but at least if the public can see it, they could go to the, you know, Norristown website, you know, look at the main calendar, and it'll show what's town-sponsored and what's not. Thank you. Oh, and also, I heard that there's like no animal control officer, but Norristown City Council can actually appoint one. So I know police time is very precious. They don't need to be going out chasing dogs. But this is like a disturbance of the peace when there are dogs running around, you know? These houses are so close, and then when they're off leash running around, it's really unfair to the peace of the neighborhood. You know, people who don't have yards, how do they have such large dogs running around off leash? Thank you.
Evening, Mr. President, members of council. As you know, the Historic Review Board meets monthly to review all requests for additions, alterations, and repairs on the exteriors of properties within the historic district. The following COAs have been reviewed and recommended for approval by the HARB Board and are being presented for your consideration tonight. 1014 West Marshall Street, 1232 West Airy Street, and 701 DeKalb Street.
Council, any questions?
President, you need copies?
No, thank you. Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the HARB Board of March 2024?
So moved.
Madam Secretary.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Rashad Bates. Aye. Tiffany Hamlin. Aye. Lauren Hughes. Aye. William McCoy. Aye. Dustin Queenan.
Aye.
Thomas LaParra.
Aye, the ayes have it. Motion passes. Moving on to fire, Resolution 24-41. Request for council to approve the purchase of drones from Unmanned Vehicle Technologies.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of council. Before you is Resolution 2441, and that would be for the purchase of 3 drones from Unmanned Vehicle Technologies. The 3 drones are totally covered in costs by grants and donations. And a little bit of history, this is just as advancements in the fire service and emergency service, that we feel adding a drone program to the fire department would greatly be an excellent asset. We can get now a 360 view of buildings that before, you know, we get around, we could just never usually get like that bird's eye view along our river with rescues during flooding events. That it really gives us a view that we've never had before.
Council, any questions?
One question. First, I love the idea of having UAVs for the fire department and like police departments too. I know for like regular people like me, you have to have like a Part 107 license for that. Do you guys need any of that too?
Funny you say that. Our people are going through the training as we speak. We have 8 firefighters that are going through the different levels to obtain their FAA license to be able to operate drones and the additional training being emergency responders.
That's awesome.
Somehow I knew you had a drone. Council, any other questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 24-41?
Second.
Madam Secretary.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Rashad Bates. Tiffany Henley. Lauren Hughes. William McCoy. Dustin Queenan. Thomas LaParrot.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution passes.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to police, Resolution 24-36, request for council to approve the intergovernmental agreements and memorandum of understanding with the Borough of Pottstown for the use and allocation of certain Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program Award funds.
Good evening, Council President.
Evening, Chief.
Council members. I'm going to have Lieutenant Dumas handle the resolution.
Council President, Council, this resolution in front of you is to redirect pre-approved and accepted grant funds from the JAG Grant 2022 and 2023. We want to move those funds to a different project that we have presented later tonight, but the project was where those funds were originally slated for. Those projects were covered actually by county. One of them was a shot spotter program, and that was covered by county. And the other funds were basically for general police services, and we would need to amend the original memorandum of understanding between the two boroughs to be able to do this.
Council, any questions? Councilwoman Smith.
This is really probably because these grant funds are directed to approve the next item on the agenda, right?
I'm sorry, missed that last
These
part.
grant funds, the redirection would be to fund our next item on the agenda for the license plate readers, right?
Yes.
So I guess my question is really about the license plate readers, but I'd like to have the answer before I say, yes, I want to redirect the grant funds.
Just keep that in mind next time and go in order.
No, it's fine. It makes sense to kind of have money and then the thing, but my question is really about like the privacy practices around license plate readers.
Sure.
And whether or not there's, like, I understand most common function of license plate readers to read licenses and find people you're looking for, but if there's any like accessory uses being proposed attached to the license plate readers.
So license plate readers are becoming more and more popular. There's thousands, tens of thousands of them located throughout the country for various different purposes. Our purpose is basic safety of the town. There's a lot of benefits. We don't have license plate readers in Norristown, but all the surrounding areas do. And I could give you examples for if there's a serious incident and we need to find somebody, if it hit on the town outside of Norristown, we know that we can stop spending resources trying to look for that person. And it goes the other way too, where if it didn't hit outside our town, then most likely that vehicle is still in the town. Now, I can assure you that we are not, I know there's some scary stories of cops sitting at a license plate reader and sitting at an intersection and just tagging every car that goes by. That hasn't been Norristown's practice, and we certainly wouldn't start that with the addition of any technology. This is a benefit. This is a serious piece of equipment that is very valuable for police and provides multiple resources and back data. Like if you have a crime that occurred and you need to look at something that happened 6 months ago, you can track whereabouts of where a vehicle was. License plates are there's been case law on license plate where any officer can come up and just run a license plate. So you're not giving up any additional privacy by installing these at a fixed point.
I also want to address your question, Councilwoman Smith, that the most important part with automatic license plate readers and any other equipment that we're trying to put in for a resolution is the policies and procedures that come along with it, making sure that there are boundaries that we actually have and that we're following the protocols, in place. So if afforded the opportunity to get the automatic license plate readers. There would be actual policies and procedures to actually guide personnel on its use and also the disobedience of the policies and procedures, holding individuals accountable.
Thank you.
Give me a message, and I think you might have kind of been talking about policy procedures. They were wondering about data collection, like their privacy. Were there things being placed like to protect their privacy? How would the data be handled? Like, when their license plate reader reads and grabs information, does it? They're worried that if they collect their information, how would their information be secure within a police department?
Correct?
It's held in the third national database.
Okay.
It gets sent up to NCIC for if someone's doing.
Right.
And NCIC is National Crime Information Center.
Right. So we don't hold it. It actually goes somewhere else. Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Council, other questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 24-36?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary?
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Rashad Bates. Tiffany Henley. Lauren Hughes. William McCoy. Dustin Queenan.
Aye.
Thomas LaPera.
Aye, the ayes have it, resolution passes. Moving on to Resolution 24-37, request for council to approve the purchase of license plate readers. Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 24-37?
Second.
Madam Secretary?
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Rashad Bates. Tiffany Henley. Lauren Hughes. William McCoy. Dustin Queenan. Thomas LaPera.
Aye, the ayes have it, resolution passes. Moving on to Resolution 24-38, request for council to approve painting for a purpose.
So, Council, I'm sure you're aware, we've had a massive opiate epidemic throughout this country, this state, and this town. A few years ago, there was a settlement between the companies that manufacture opioids and all the different states, counties, and local governments. Norristown was privy to receiving this settlement and will do so for the next, I believe, 12 years. There is guidelines that are presented to the department to purchase certain items or engage in certain activities. We have not engaged in any activities. It started in 2022 when we had a deadline to meet to use the funds that we've since received by August 1st of 2024. We brainstormed and came up with some ideas, and one of the ideas that we decided that we want to move forward on is providing a therapeutic activity for the residents of Norristown. Basically, we want to hold 5 activities where we bring people together in the purpose of hope, recovery, and purpose. We want them to enjoy a night out. So what we would propose is that we have an event held at 5 different locations in town, which we've already reached out and come up with 5 locations that would hold a venue or a event at this size. And we would bring in an educator who we have present here, Mr. Miller, and he would speak to the residents in a manner in which he can address everyone's issues and relate to everybody that's at the event. And age appropriate, obviously. And then also during the event, we would provide dinner or some type of food, and then they would, after the presentation, they would all participate in a painting with a twist. I don't know, I'm sure everybody here knows what painting with a twist is, but we would have one of those vendors come in, and everybody would paint a picture of some type of therapy painting or hope recovery painting. Normally in the past, we would do a lot of sporting events, and we still like to do sporting events and have the cops go out and do like the street, play street ball. We have the summer events that we hold, but the chief and I thought that it was really important to focus on an event that might appeal to other residents that maybe don't play sports or just interested in some type of activity that
Inclusive of families.
inclusive of, it's inclusive of families. Everybody can do this, and it doesn't matter how old or young you are. So, and we feel that this is the best way to put our message out there and provide some education, some fun, and quite frankly, something a little different than we're normally used to doing.
Council, any questions?
I just ask that you make it open to the Hispanic population as well, so make sure the advertisement is in Spanish, so.
Absolutely.
We actually are holding an event that's strictly Spanish speaking.
That's great. Hope they hear that.
Mr. Miller's actually bringing an interpreter. He's a Spanish counselor. I'm sorry, I just wanted to let you know that here in the Norristown Police Department, we recognize that diversity, equity, inclusion is not a person or an organization, it's a way of life, and that's just how we do things here in Norristown PD.
Council, any other questions?
Not a question, but I like the idea, and I appreciate the inclusion of something that's beyond just sporting events. So thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 24-38?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Rashad Bates. Tiffany Henley. Lauren Hughes. William McCoy. Dustin Queenan. Thomas LaPara.
Aye. Ayes have it. Resolution passes. Moving on to a motion to approve the collaboration with the Lincoln Center.
Mr. President, Council, the Lincoln Center the motion here is to start a conversation with them in regards to participation in 2 grants that they are currently going to work on for us. The first one is a health and wellness grant for police officers, or not just police officers, but first responders. It's called LEMHWA is the initials. It's Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act. We would basically participate with the Lincoln Center, and they would use our name and our department demographics, I guess, to apply for the grant. The second thing that we want to do with the Lincoln Center, which is kind of a bigger project, is start to participate in the Gear Up program. I'm sure many of you are aware of the DARE program. Gear Up is the DARE program's like new version. It focuses on drugs and addiction, and also focuses on violence and bullying. So we would need to write a memorandum of understanding. They would apply for a grant, and then we would commit, and it doesn't cost us any money, and we can back out at any time, but we would commit a certain amount of man-hours to the program, personnel to the program. So, and the things that we would do in this, things we would do with this type of program is we would go into the schools, mostly the middle schools in this case, participate in different activities. We would act as like a student for a day. We would provide guidance in the classroom, and it's more of a friendly, positive interactions with the children at early ages, and assist with any type of other issues that might come along. But it's strictly positive interactions with the students, and by doing that, the Lincoln Center provides juvenile therapists that also work hand in hand with this person that would be involved. There's a lot of training that goes into the Gear Up program for the officers that do this. So it's much like a resource officer, DARE officer, but a newer version. And so tonight, I'm just asking for the permission to engage in these conversations with the Lincoln Center. And lastly, we've worked with the Lincoln Center in the past. This is how we got our SRO program years ago. So they're time-tested and previously approved.
And I'd just like to add, if you don't mind, Council, is that Norristown Police Department is in the process of making sure that not only do we just utilize our community relations officers or liaisons, is that everyone, whether you're a police officer, detective, special unit, that we all interface in a non-enforcement way with the community in a positive manner. So this is an effort, along with all the other things that we're doing, to make sure that we rotate all personnel, sworn and even staff, professional staff, out to making sure that we interface with the community in a positive manner and in a non-enforcement manner as well.
Council, any questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the collaboration with the Lincoln Center?
So moved.
Madam Secretary.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Todd Bates. Tiffany Henley. Lauren Hughes. William McCoy. Dustin Queenan. Thomas LaPara.
Aye, the ayes have it, motion passes. And then, before we adjourn, you're going to give a departmental report, Chief? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good evening again, Council President, Vice President, council members, administrator, solicitor, general public. I'm sorry. The 2024 goals and objectives for the Norristown Police Department. We have 3 goals. The first goal is community policing. We'd like to improve police and community relationships, and the first objective is to educate and provide resources to victims of crime on their rights and services. The results of this objective so far have been that Norristown Police Department utilizes victim support surveys to follow up with victims of crime. Act 77 tells us that whenever an individual is a victim of a crime, it is the obligation by law of police officers to ensure that they give them the victim's compensation form within 24 to 48 hours, or actually immediately. So when there's someone who's a victim of a crime, we ensure that our community relations unit, our mental health coordinator in our department, or a police officer follows up with that victim, not to discuss his or her case, but to provide them with the information if they did not get it, and also to remind them of additional resources that they are entitled to based upon the law. And I can tell you that NPD has completed 88 victim support surveys during the month of March. Objective 2 and Goal 1 is to increase the number of police non-enforcement encounters with community members to build trust and transparency. The results of Objective 2, NPD has hosted and attended several events during March. Some of the highlights included hosting Chiefs Night In every Wednesday, where I actually have met with 20-plus residents. We also teamed up with community members in doing the steering wheel lock event, where we were giving out steering wheel locks, because Kias and Hyundais have been the most stolen vehicles in our municipality. And also the Montgomery County Overdose Response Team and the Women's Center participated in Norristown Police Department's roll call to provide education and awareness to the officers about how they can assist us, ensuring that we do not actually get involved when we're not necessarily needed in particular situations. We don't want things to escalate, so they're actually there to help de-escalate and provide the proper services. And in addition, we had patrol officers and detectives participate in Read Across America, where they read to children at various schools throughout Norristown. Objective 3 and Goal number 1 is to facilitate, develop, and reestablish initiatives to have police and community serve as co-producers of public safety. I'm proud to announce that Norristown Police Department has advertised the use of NORCAM, which is the Norristown Police Department and Community Camera Registration Program, to facilitate partnerships with the community. We've had 13 residents and business owners register their cameras. We're out canvassing the neighborhoods as we speak, because there are oftentimes when individuals are victims of crime, we have officers and detectives who have to go out and knock on doors and survey. So we figure that if we actually engage with the community and have them register their cameras, it'll save us some time and resources in terms of not having to go out to so many locations if we actually have access to their cameras when they actually send the videos to us. Goal number 2, organizational excellence. We want to utilize smart and best practices to ensure efficient and effective operations and accountability. With regard to objective number 4, revise and create new policies and procedures. I'm happy to report that Norristown Police Department has implemented 17 new policies that have been put in place so far from January 1st until today's date. Objective number 5 is provide professional development via training for sworn and professional staff. I'm happy to report that sworn and professional staff, in addition to their yearly certification training, they have attended 27 supplemental trainings so far this year from January 1st to April 1st. And objective number 6, implement and practice risk management. NPD has addressed and implemented and completed 5 of the recommendations from the Center for Public Safety Management. NPD also implemented patrol logs to help facilitate best practices for police officers. Goal number 3 is to utilize proactive and reactive strategies to reduce crime. Objective number 7 is to educate police and community on crime. The objective results for number 7, MPD utilizes the police website to make community aware and educate them on crime. Additionally, MPD holds daily intelligence meetings to review, consult, and follow up on recent incidents so command staff, along with personnel, to come together to decide the best course of action to address particular crimes and also be more proactive. Objective number 8 is identify and implement crime strategies to combat crime. MPD developed and implemented the VIP cards to proactively go out and inform neighbors to be aware of locking their doors, making sure that they have proper lighting in areas. And also, we've been actually reaching out to other department heads when we actually have either complaints or concerns. And those department heads, I want to say thank you very much, Thomas Oding, thank you for Public Works, and also Code with Amrinder and Keith Gordon, thank you. Also, data showed that there was a slight increase in theft for motor vehicles and burglaries. Therefore, MPD has increased the use of the VIP cards. And lastly, objective number 3 for number 9, track and utilize data. One tool that MPD uses to address instances involving gunfire is ShotSpotter. So far this year, ShotSpotter has registered 29 activations. 14 of these incidents were actually founded, with only 8 of these incidents getting 911 calls. The remaining 15 activations were unfounded, likely due to the results of car backfires or fireworks. Let's get into the crime. Table you have in front of you, Part 1 crimes, shows that Norristown Police Department has a slight increase in crime during March 2024 in comparison to March 2023. While we have seen a decrease in auto theft, simple assault, and drug possession incidents during March 2024 in comparison to March 2023, there has been a slight increase in robbery, burglary, and theft incidents. Specifically, there has been a 100% increase in robberies, and that number went from 2 robberies to 4 robberies. In addition, with the burglaries from 5 to 11, I can certainly tell you that some of these burglaries have been the result of individuals actually being intoxicated, leaving their doors open, and people coming into their homes taking things, or individuals who live in rooming houses where they know that, or they believe that individuals who have lived in that particular property have come into their specific space. The next table shows here from the year-to-date, that was month-to-month, year-to-date. Here is year-to-date. Let me back up. I want to share, though, that from the month-to-month, from 2023 to 2024, that there was a decrease in simple assaults. We had 37 simple assaults last year in 2023. This year we have 27. Also, with drug possession violations, there were 14 last year. We actually had 4 this year, so that's down 71%. Also, on the year-to-date, Part 1 offenses and the Part 2 crimes, the table shows that Norristown Police Department has seen a decrease in crime overall, a small percentage, 2%, this year in comparison to last year. While we have seen a decrease in aggravated assault, auto theft, simple assault, and drug possession incidents this year in comparison to last year, there has been an increase in some burglary incidents. Specifically, there has been an increase of the number of burglaries from 15 to 21, which is a 15% increase. Year to date, when you look at the 7-year Part 1 crime comparisons, so when you look at the years of 2017 to 2023 in comparison to the 7 years of 2010 to 2016, specifically speaking, there was a 37% decrease in the number of Part 1 crimes, which includes murder, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, theft, auto theft, and arson. Additionally, there has been a decrease in the number of simple assault incidents, drug sale violations, and drug possession violations during the same 7-year period. So while there has been an overall decrease, the 2 types of Part 1 incidents that have actually increased in 2017 to 2023 has actually been murder and auto theft. So, knock on wood, no more murders.
Comments? Seeing none, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Guys have it. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.